From the day you were born, there has been some invisible force that drove you into making key decisions. Some people find a way to listen to the voice of that force and experience, as a consequence, some of the best moments of their life, while others tend to shut it down, which causes a lot of pain. And deep down, this voice is just a manifestation of your deep values in life. The people who take the time to align their values together experience great enjoyment in life, while the other ones end up paralyzed in a life they don't like at all. So in this video, I wanted to give you 3 practical steps to identify your highest values in life, make sure they are aligned, and if you find any conflict, anything keeping you stuck right now in your business, in your life, in your relationships, how to realign, dismantle and realign that conflict so that your values can make you move forward again. When you clearly know what your values are and you have accepted they were the driving force behind all of your most positive actions, then you make better decisions not only in your career or in your business, but also in your relationships and in any decisions linked with your health and diet, which for the most part happens on the unconscious level. So the first critical step we are going to elaborate on right now is to evaluate what have been the most positive experiences in your life and what have been the most negative experiences in your life. When you pause for a second and think about the best moments you've had, you might let come back into your memory the souvenir of your first love, for example, the souvenirs of some birthday party, the souvenir of some family member, anything where you have felt truly listened to, truly enjoyed, and you were enjoying the moment without thinking about anything else. What have been some of those moments? If you can think about this for a second, then you might notice there has been commonalities, common points within all of those experiences, memories, and moments. What specifically were those common points? What do all of those memories have in common? Then once you have thought about this, you can also do the same thing for polarities with the worst experiences of your life. And just for a minute, of course, we can just dig that into the grave just after doing it, for sure. For a second, just think about what have been the most difficult, challenging, in the negative way, moments of your life. Maybe some bad conversations you had to have, maybe some people you had to get rid of, maybe some job you were not really fitting well into. What have been the worst moments? And in the same way, you can just elaborate on what is the main central point into all of those negative memories. What is the main commonality that links all of those bad memories together? Maybe you took bad decisions that day because of some person around you, because of some difficulty in your life. What have been happening into those moments? And just with that alone, with that information of the commonalities between the best moments of your life and the commonalities between the worst moments of your life, you might already figure out some choices linked with your health, your relationships, and your career or finances that may not be completely aligned right now. Because anything that gets closer to the worst moments of your life and further away from the best moments of your life is something to get rid of once and for all. On the opposite, something that gets you closer to the best moments of your life, to the best memories you have, and further away from the most negative ones you have in your head, this is a good choice. Even if all the pieces of the puzzle are not completely aligned yet, it is a good choice to make because it is something that brings you closer to your real purpose in life. And before getting on to the second step that has thread this time to the people around you in life, you have a link down below to book a 30-minute consultation with me for free to figure out if you want to advance on your projects with the mentoring of someone who has been there before. It is specifically for people growing a company, a business, or anything in their career, and it can also be used for other projects if you think it is relevant. The link is down below to contact me if you think it is necessary for you. And with that in mind, let's go into the second step. Therefore, who are the people, or who were the people around whom in your life you feel or have felt the most alive? By alive, I guess you can get some image in your mind of what you look like when you feel more alive with people. What does that look like, and what do you feel like whenever whenever you feel more alive around somebody. Some people just enter the room and you instantly feel great. On the reverse, some people enter the room and you just want them to get away from you. With the ones you feel the most alive, can you pinpoint when you think about those people? They might have been friends, they might have been colleagues, they might have been some coaches, gurus, mentors you have seen on stage, anybody you have met or even seen on video and really felt more alive after hearing them speak or just by the way they were interacting with your energy somehow. With that person in mind or those people in mind, can you pinpoint once again what is the commonality, any common points between all of those people? What is one specific thing they all shared in common or something they all had at their disposal that you wish you could have yourself? Because as soon as you figure out what it is that all of those people had in common or what is the common point into the effects they had on you, then again you can pause and reflect upon your career right now, your relationships, are they aligned, and your health, your diet, your workouts if you are working out. All of those aspects of your life, are they all aligned? Are they all well rooted? Or is there one that you can think about where in which you know there is some conflict or something that is not really solved, resolved, or not really fulfilled in the way you wish it could be? And the last step, this time has thread to all the activities and the situations that made you feel in the past the most energized, or all the situations in general that make you feel more energized. What tends to trigger your energy every time you engage into that situation? For me specifically, anything where I'm going to meet new people, definitely I feel more energized. Everyone thinks I'm overly drunk every time I party. I don't really even need to drink that much because people are my drug. But it's just me, it doesn't have to be the case for you. Figure out for yourself what is the kind of situation that naturally triggers energy and sparks some excitement into your head at the moment you engage onto it. What is an example of such activity or situation? And if you can find 2 or 3, once again, one last time, figure out what do they all have in common, if they have anything of that sort. What is it that they all share in common? Is there any commonalities into all of those experiences? Because now, with all of that in mind, we can obviously get to the core of the problem in this video. If you found during all of those explanations, if you found any conflict or anything unresolved that is kind of a blurry thing in your mind, you know there is a problem but it is not really clear, and you know you have 2 things eventually that enter in contradiction in your life, and you didn't find the answer yet to resolve that whole situation or that conflict. My first big advice here is simply to stop resisting what is obvious. If you feel jaded, bored, stagnating in your life, it is obviously because there is a conflict, there is one or multiple of your values that are not being met right now. Any big value you have in life, like freedom, like friendship, like adventure, for example, any big value like this requires a specific set of criteria to be fully met, to be fully embodied. Whenever you have a conflict because you feel like your life is not moving forward, you're just stagnating, nothing seems compelling and stimulating, that means one criteria is kind of stuck, not being met. From my experience, this happens most of the time because A, there has been some painful experience in your past and you try to hide away from this instead of solving the wound and the pain of the emotional trauma, for example. And because of that, you also cut away the access to your deep values and to what they are whispering in your ear whenever you would need to listen to what you need to do right now. Or B, because there is some repressed emotion, which is kind of a result of some bad experience. Any repressed emotion, for example, the fear of disappointing somebody, the fear of disappointing somebody else or even yourself, the guilt of leaving a situation. When you want to leave the house, or you want to leave your country, or you want to leave the company, but there is some guilt attached to this because you know this is not a good thing thing to do, you would cause pain to some people. Or for example, the anger about something that happened to you in the past. And since it is not right to feel angry because those people didn't mean to damage you or hurt you, you should not be angry, but that anger is stuffed down and repressed inside, and as a consequence you also tend to have less access to what your values are whispering to you when you are at peace. So once all of those repressed feelings and emotions and experiences are released, you access more clarity about what you should do or should not do right now, about what you need to let go of and what you need to pursue more often. And for example, some questions that can get you closer to identifying that level of clarity and releasing any tight knot that has been constricting you so far. Questions like, what does your attention is being pulled by the most when you are at peace? When you don't need to complete any obligation, you don't have anything urgent to do, when you're just at peace, provided this is happening in your life these days, at any moment like this, when you are calming down, what is your attention driven by, what is your attention pulled by the most? And in your opinion, that thing that pulls your attention, why do you need that thing specifically? Another one, what is, for example, one choice you have been resisting for way too long at this point? What is one choice you have been wanting secretly to engage into, to pursue, but you have been resisting it because it was bad, because you didn't feel ready, because whatever, because somebody told you you should not do this, whatever. What is one such choice, if there is any? One choice you have been wanting secretly to embody, to pursue, and you have been pushing it away, whereas deep down you know you want that. And the last one, therefore, anything that makes you resist right now, anything you have been resisting, whereas your intuition is still drawn by this, but you're not going there for some reason. Who do you think the restriction comes from? Who or where do you think that restriction comes from? Who made the obligation that you should or should not pursue anything? Who made that obligation, and why are you still tied to that person or that set of obligations? Once you release all of those knots, you can find much more clarity, and if you want to work one-on-one to make sure you can unlock all of those and find much deeper choices that will be beneficial not only for you but also for the people around you, you can book a free consultation with me for 30 minutes. We can see together if there is any specific point that needs to be addressed in your life, and if so, if you wish to pursue and get some coaching with me, I will tell you more about this during the call. But this first one is just to meet up you and I together if you're interested. If that is the case, the link is down below. I will be glad to see you there if you engage onto this, and waiting to see you there. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.